there's a combination of energy and auto that many people have not thought of in that fashion for a very long time. But also what happens is we're talking in the energy conversation, most people don't know that they can take their energy with them now in a way that they kind of have for decades. But the way that it's transformed to having mobile energy is frankly kind of fresh in the minds of people. And to have that conversation, we're joined by Adam Weissman from Anker.
That was a fantastic segue.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe the best of the year.
Thank you. God, hey, man, it's the 8th show of the year, and it worked out. No, but I think it's something we always talk about in every single city, which is people don't necessarily know that they can capture energy, take it with them in a portable fashion. They might have your company's products in their pocket right now.
Probably do.
They probably do.
Would you say it's power over your energy? Power over your power?
Man.
Power over your power. Okay.
Well, no,
power with your power?
The first one was better. Power over your energy.
Power over your energy.
You started just rolling with it, and all of a sudden it was like, no. You're right the first time. But actually, power over your energy is a great way to frame it. It gives you control.
Absolutely. So we are Anker. We are a charging company. We've been around for 13 years. We actually started the portable power station craze however many years ago. We've expanded in size. We've both expanded our line and in size. So we have ones that look like a little lunchbox and all the way up to the one that is in the booth here, and it's powering phones. You can power your house. You can even power an EV directly and get, with just one battery, you can get up to 10 to 12 miles of range.
You can power a Chargeway beacon too.
Yes,
right.
you can.
You can power a Chargeway beacon. I think that's the thing that has been most fun about learning about Anker the last few years at Expo and getting to know you and your team is that the flexibility that your products offer to people is something that, again, they might see your products, they can buy them on Amazon, things like that. But as you start to explain how that expansion works and you say a phrase like an Anker product can power your home, it kind of stops people in their tracks a bit and they go, well, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, and of course, they come up to it this festival and the Expo, and they take the smallest model and they say, "Can this power my home?"
They hold the little lunchbox one.
Yes.
No, well, for
your
how long?
cell phone in the home,
or
a Bluetooth speaker in the home.
Well, and that's again, this is where energy education is such a fundamental part of what we're talking about every time at Expo. Every city we go to, that's a big part. Is how do they understand what that means for their use case, for what their questions are, and how do we unpack that?
Yeah, and it's like I said, we have different size batteries for different size usage. At this Expo, people have been kind of looking more toward our bigger batteries. Sometimes the grid might go down, the cold, whatever, and they're like, we want that. Or they're going camping and they want to be able to recharge a phone, a camera, a drone, whatever it happens to be. They want to recharge that and take it to go. They don't need a lot of power, but they need something that they can get 2 or 3 charges for a portable.
Well, and energy density has improved so much in batteries that we actually now have the ability to offer someone that flexibility. It's not we're going camping, we're taking the generator and a can of gas, and we're going to make a bunch of noise while we're camping.
Right.
Instead, now it's an Anker product that runs silently but provides the same functionality.
I think it works optically better too, because in remote configurations where you got a diesel power generator powering an EV charger, there's some bad optics around that.
Well, I mean, you see the memes that float around of like, oh, look at this EV on the side of the road getting powered up by a gas generator. It's like, okay, the one time that happened, I'm so glad you got a photo of it. But
because it's really been spread everywhere.
Yeah, it has been spread. But then the truth of the matter is, it's like now I can go to campsites and see hundreds of opportunities for how Anker can be leveraged to power a campsite, not with a noisy gas generator, but with stored clean energy in many ways.
You guys are walking around the festival, you're actually seeing a lot of our products powering the festival. So we have the exclusive power sponsorship on all the 110 power. So all of the big archways that you see.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, the archways, all the TVs that are in the middle of the aisles, the speakers that are making this expo. You're hearing our voice because of our power station. So
well, and that's something that even again, BJ and the team that founded the expo, they wanted to make sure that it's an authentic electrification experience. And we've talked about this. It took some time for them to find that Anker had these types of flexible products to bring this to market. But then also, it is one hell of a showcase for what you guys have as a product line.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, one of the electricians from the show came up to us today and says, your tagline should be like rock solid or something, because we were in Phoenix and it was 107 or something. We were in New York and it rained. They're not designed for it, but they still work, and it's a great testament to our engineers and our research team to make a product that is really so great in ruggedness, even if it's not supposed to. I wouldn't recommend it, but
Well, and but again, this is a part of the discussion around like how is the product methodology, what is the design process to bring something to market that is actually useful to people. You get to see every day when a product design could have been better.
Yes.
Could have been better. And that's something that I think we're seeing, that we're sort of, there's some weeding out in the industry of what are the products that actually have a lot of thoughtfulness around the innovation and design that brought them to market. And that's something that is, again, part of a growing industry and part of a nascent industry that is graduating into a mainstream product line. So from your side, Jason, again, we sat and talked with Adam a little bit last night too. You've got some experience here in the state of Texas that, again, you're from Florida. I'm from...
No, I live in Florida.
Live in Florida. He's from the Northeast, lives in Florida. You in Texas. You get to see a lot of what happens here in this state. A lot of the people that are here at Expo, this is a state that has a lot of energy independence that it's been historically known for. That's what we're talking about, though. This is a unique way of understanding energy independence that people that have been very accustomed to understanding, like, it's kind of how we do it here in Texas. Is this more of a paradigm shift now with electrification?
I think it's an important shift. I think it's a very important shift to look at storage, you can even see scaled-sized locations with battery energy storage systems that have brought a grid edge power solution where you have a remote area. You referred to that, being out in Arizona. You're in remote areas, but you need power out there, whether it's a construction context or it's your operations are there and you need power there. How do you get it?
And it's, the challenge has been, and it's been a great sponsorship with Electrify, is we get to actually talk to customers and kind of, help them understand it's like, how does power work, right? Because you're used to just plug into your power to your wall and it, whatever it happens to be, your fridge, a drill, this, that, lights, fans, air conditioning, they all work. And like people come up and say like, well, I want to go camping. Okay, how much power do I need? Well, what are you trying to power is the first question. And they'll say like, like the regular stuff. Okay, what's the regular stuff to you? A phone, great. A tablet, great. A heater, how long are you going to be heating? 12 hours.
I'm going camping in the Yukon
right.
in February.
And you need a lot of power. So there are use cases that are perfect. Just taking something with you, smaller with you. But, because of some of our bigger batteries, you can actually, if you're RVing and like people use a lot of our bigger batteries for RVs and van life, just so that they don't have to run their engines all night long, which is great.
Well, and again, this is something where you can preload the battery, charge it at home before you go on a trip. You can also connect it to solar.
Correct.
And so that's something that, again, you power over your energy. I think you kind of like hit on a good one with that, because it is not only that, it is the idea that, okay, I can pre-plan around what I need. Again, this is like filling up a generator with gas or just taking gas with you.
Yeah.
But then when you're physically there, depending on the environment you're in, the time of year, you literally could just throw out some solar panels and start recharging your batteries that you used.
Correct. Yeah, and the more solar panels you have, some of our bigger batteries can take up to 3,200 watts of solar, input. So, depending on the size of the battery, you could have...
That's like half the size of the solar system at my house. That's big.
That's big.
That's big. And again, but you guys have flexible solutions around the solar panels you also offer as part of your product line.
Yeah, so we have, portable solar panels that you can actually just fold up. They kind of, all four panels kind of collapse down into one. There's a handle, and you can take them with you. But the other thing is we also make rigid panels that, a friend of mine in Houston has. He has them in his backyard. He has 2 of our big batteries and a couple expansion batteries. He asked me, his power grid is not the best, but he said, like, how much do you think I pay for power every month? And I was like, I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you, yeah.
He's like, $27. Because in Houston, their grid, whatever they have, whatever the power system is in Houston, they're actually able to get free power from 6 or 7 or 8 p.m., whatever, till 8 in the morning.
So he uses his battery with free power?
So he uses his battery to power the entire house. He's got a cocktail pool, home theater, TVs, this, that, fridge, air conditioning, and he powers it all day long and then recharges it during, at night at 6 p.m. it starts recharging all of his batteries.
And this whole power over your energy, again, I'm going to just keep using because I thought it worked really well. I'm going to go for it. He's going to steal it because he should.
I'm going to steal it.
But I mean, that really is, it's about giving people control and agency over something that we've all had to just kind of outsource. We've had to be like, all right, we're going to pay the utility. We're going to pay the natural gas company. We're going to pay the gas station. Like, okay, you guys all make this energy that we know we need. This is offering opportunity for people to start piecemealing in small scale.
Yeah.
But then it's starts to grow into how far can I take this based on my use case. We've talked too about the fact that, again, you're being in Florida, you have an option to say, okay, I get hit by a hurricane if I'm in an apartment there.
I'm in an apartment. I can't have a fixed system because I don't own my apartment.
Right.
I'm a renter. And there may be rules about what you can install or can't install. But one of our batteries can sit in my closet, and if it happens to have a hurricane, power goes out, I can just literally plug it in, and then, during the day, roll it outside. I mean, it would be, depending on how big it was, roll it outside or carry it outside, throw a solar panel up, and recharge it as quick as I could.
That level of control is huge.
Outside of the multifamily application or example that you just made, but I would even think in a single family home context, probably one of your bigger products, your larger solutions in terms of storage is probably a more economical deployment than spending money on a Generac or some kind of home generator. I don't know, what's the price parity around like one of your larger products?
So they MSRP starts around $4,000. We usually sell them even here. We have discounts, but on our website or on Amazon,
but that's your biggest battery.
That's our biggest battery.
Yeah.
We
and
sell
how big
it for
is that?
20. Right now, it's on special for 22 or 2,300.
Well, what's the sizing?
It's 3.84 kilowatt hours with 6 kilowatt output.
And so with that, by definition of like battery size, what that means is we're looking at this big. Again, it's sizable. But if you plug something like your fridge in, if you plug in your cell phone to charge it, the amount of energy it's going to provide you in that context to just keep the basics running is days.
Absolutely,
really.
Days is like if it's again like air conditioning is harder if you're doing things that have a lot of circular saw or
a lot of power needed at the moment. Yeah,
heating, cooling, those are harder. Fridges, they turn on, they turn off. If you are good about keeping your fridge closed during a power outage,
during a power outage and you're plugged into an Anker battery pack with your fridge, don't wake up in the middle of the night and stand there with the fridge open going,
correct.
Do I want milk or do I want, no, I do want that Coke. No.
Let me close it. Let me open it. Let me close it.
No, but what we're talking about is, again, how we've engaged with energy as we've known it as just humans for the last century. We've been kind of spoiled in the sense that it's been like just kind of easy to use. And just
to that point is you're used to having a battery in your pocket for just your phone.
Yep.
And now you're saying, well, again, I'm a photographer, I'm a drone pilot, I'm this, I'm that. I want something that I can take, that I can power something larger.
Well, I've taken my drone out before and I've been flying it, and it's like, okay, this thing lasts like 20 minutes.
Right.
And so I bought an extra battery, so okay, I've got 40 minutes of flight time.
Right.
But if I get out there at the right time and then all of a sudden it's a magic hour and I get some better shots with my drone,
right.
All of a sudden I'm like, okay, now what do I do? I plug it into some other outlet. It's like in my car, I can sit around. But no, this is where understanding how you can control energy is what we're talking about.
Yeah. And it's great. Go ahead.
Well, I was just curious about some of the intelligence behind the product. Is it acknowledging the devices that it's charging and kind of derating power?
It knows. So there's a battery management system in it, so it's smart. So when you plug into any of our portable power stations, it'll tell you how much power is being used, and at that current power level, how long the battery will last. And if you
it's just like a percentage readout, like right on the front of those, like even the one that's powering the beacon right there, tap a button, it'll tell you the percentage, like lickety split.
So it'll tell you what the battery percentage is. So it'll say like there's 87% left, but somewhere on that display, depending on the unit, it says, okay, you're outputting 23 watts, or you're outputting 6,000 watts, or whatever. Or if you're charging from solar, it'll tell you how much power is coming in, but it'll also tell you, this will last for 18 hours at this, whatever it happens to be.
But if we're talking about products that people plug in at home that they're accustomed to using, this is like what uses a lot of power on a daily basis. You mentioned air conditioning, heating. But like if it's something that I plug in as I'm going to use this product right now. What am I plugging in? Things like a toaster, a coffee maker.
They use more power than you think they do.
Right. It's like, but they use it in these incremental chunks.
Correct.
And this is where like one of the best pieces of advice I ever in my life was from my father, who's an engineer, and he said, vampire power is a real thing. So if you got a bunch of stuff just plugged in throughout the house, it's very rare, very regularly, it's just slightly drawing off things. So
we can turn off most of our batteries. The AC power section or the DC power section has a button that's specific, so that you're basically turning off and disabling that section. So
Yeah.
even if something's plugged in, there's no power.
No draw,
going.
yeah.
There's no draw.
So we've covered a lot. Anything, Jason, you still want to ping Adam on as to what Anker's up to?
I just want to know I'm going to get the royalties on power over your energy.
I was waiting for it.
Tagline.
I wanted to actually ask all the people in the booth here if you guys had any questions.
Yeah, any
Do
questions?
you guys have any questions or how you use power on the go?
Yeah. Hey, oh, there we go.
Oh, wait.
Good call out.
Microphone right here. Yeah.
We have it, so let's use it.
There you go.
Shout out to our lovely assistant, Randy.
Yes.
Hey guys, my name is Charlie from Austin, Texas.
Hey.
One of the things that I've kind of noticed personally myself and kind of question where the future might go with it is public charging stations.
Okay.
I think Tesla's doing a great job, but Tesla's just one player in the game. I don't see much else in reliable charging stations in that. Charge America, I know, is a big one out there. But I think there's a lot of problems and a bit of a stumbling block for a lot of new people coming to this that say, okay, great, I'm really interested in EV cars. But one, finding a place to charge it reliably, as someone mentioned about living in an apartment like myself, that becomes a stumbling block, right? And my question to you guys more or less is where do you think that's going to go? Is that going to get better? Do other players need to step into the game to make that an improvement?
I'm going to leave this to Matt because this is right up his alley.
Well, I think there's two things and thank you for the question. I think what we talk about as an industry, so on one hand, you're asking about reliability, right? So reliability being a big point. I mean, Jason, you're working on reliability every single day. So there are, again, companies like Field Advantage that are in the field making sure that the reliability concerns you're talking about. I think what we saw originally with the first charging networks that came out, they were installing as fast as they could to get stations in the ground. A lot of those relationships that they had to get basically the dollars to get those in the ground were related to working directly with partners like shopping malls and maybe city municipals and utilities. It wasn't necessarily about are we reliably providing electricity to drivers. It was more about we got to get the footprint of charging out there. And at face value, the reliability looked really good. But we did see over time, if there's no one manning the store, it can lead to issues with the hardware. This is where companies like Field Advantage, what Jason's team does, is they are out in the field making sure those fixes are happening now more on a regular basis. So I think that's step one. Did I miss anything on that you'd want to touch on?
No, that's good summary.
So I think secondly is that you're asking about what's happening for players that are stepping up. Tesla's reputation for fast charging being so reliable is they have a very simple charger design. The management of what happens with your relationship when you plug into the charger, it's all related to you inside the vehicle. So the physical chargers themselves from a hardware perspective are very simple. Less stuff to break. If you go up to a charging station that is meant to be for non-Tesla vehicles where anybody can plug in, you've got screens, you've got buttons, you've got card readers. There's more things that have potential to break. But I think what we're seeing now is that we're graduating into a moment where that hardware is improving, both by sake of the quality of things you might see screen and card reader related, but also the companies that are now deploying these are working with hardware providers that actually have learned a lot in the last 10 years of how to do this better. But those companies are focused on reliability almost exclusively. So brands like Iona, brand new fast charging network that's backed by 7 automakers, they're deploying fast charging stations that not only have the upgraded hardware that is both high power and more reliable, they also have restrooms and snacks you can get. So my thought is that it is improving in a very real way, but we are beyond the early adopter phase of I'll just deal with it and figure it out. We now have drivers that say, point me to what works so I can make sure I'm not having a bad experience. So that's where I would recommend downloading the Chargeway app. So the Chargeway app shows 100,000 stations from over 60 networks. Once you add your EV, if you haven't added Chargeway yet, you can adjust your battery. It calculates your charge time at a location. It shows you your plug color. You know you can go there. It has the network listed. It shows you real-time availability. It shows you pricing that you'll pay. And if you have a question, it has the customer support line on each station detail screen so you can call those people that you need. That gives you the visibility, but then you have the flexibility to go into the networks and say, I'm turning off these ones that I just don't like. And so you then have the visibility into what that means for optionality for where you can charge reliably. It's a combination of people in the field making it happen, networks improving upon learnings that we've seen in 10 years, and then visibility into that infrastructure like with Chargeway where you can kind of see the whole kingdom. So hopefully that covers a lot of what you're... Fantastic, cool. Well, hey, See what we did there? We look like we know what we're talking about. Well, cool. This is Adam. Thank you so much for coming by. We kind of rounded out on not so much.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right.
Portable energy, but thank you for prompting the question. So this is the EV Reality Check booth. It is powered by GreenCars.com. If you want to find Anker products, where do we find them?
Obviously on our website, anker.com, that's ANKER.com, or AnkerSolix.com, that's ANKERSOLIX.com, or we're also on Amazon and in other places like Costco and Walmart and the airport. So